Satnam, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jacobin. This is your channel for grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. I feel so much more grounded this week than last week. Last week I had just barely gotten home from the trip to Peru, and I've had a whole week to just kind of settle, and we're doing a lot of organizing in our house, which is actually really awesome. It feels very scorpionic in terms of like the change and the transformation that has been happening this month, which is crazy. And we're going to talk about that a little bit because in this broadcast, we're going to go into the astrology of the week. I'll show you the charts on the screen. We'll talk about the energy, how it's going to be affecting us, the influences, and there is a lot going on this week. It's heavy. The energy has been crazy, but I feel like we are heading to a climax this week, if that makes any sense. So we'll see what happens. But before we dive into any of the content, I do want to say hi to everybody that is here. Hello, Anita. Welcome in. Hello, Christina. Welcome. Hello, Raessa. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Mary. So good to see you guys. And if you are here watching live, say hi in the chat. We love the live interaction. The other thing I want to mention is that we are going to be hosting a free online Akashic Healing Chamber. It's going to be like a multi-day Akashic Healing Chamber with Ashley Taylor. And we are very excited. It's going to be happening in December. I believe December 8th is the week. We're going to have 5 whole days of events to help us like ground, to help us release, to help us clear our energy. And all of this it's the perfect time to do something like this in the holidays. And I usually do something like this in December. So we're just excited to have you guys be a part of it. And I can literally tell you what we're going to do. We're going to begin the healing chamber with energy clearing session, and also chakras crystal gridding session. Then we'll do a spirit guides Akashic journey to receive a message from our spirit guides. That will be day 2. Day 3 is going to be an Akashic reading where we tune into the frequency of what's, the year that we've had, and then the energy of the new year that's coming, and channel messages from the Akashic records for all of us as a group. Then day 4 is a sound bath and Reiki. And day 5 is a powerful meditation to tune into the great cosmic mother and receive nurturing. So all of it is meant to help us find our way back home to ourselves, especially when things start to get a little bit crazy in the year as we're making that transition. So the other important thing about that is that you can sign up for it. It's going to be totally free. And the way that you sign up for it is you just join our global community. So if you click the link in the description of this video, you've got the link to our Mighty Network, which is called Channel for Grace. And within the global community, it'll be available in the Meditation Hub space. I'm going to create the events soon and post more about it on my social media. But for now, if you're in the global community, then you'll see the events being created and you can RSVP to them. If you're new to our community, come join us. And this is a great, opportunity to enter into this awesome space that we have to, connect with each other and get to know other people that are into the same types of things. So that is what I wanted to announce that is going to be coming up. Also, part of the whole reason for doing this multiple day Akashic Healing Chamber is to share with you the magic of the Moon Goddess training. And the Moon Goddess training is coming to a close this year, but we are getting ready to begin to talk about the Moon Goddess Training 2026. It's crazy because in my mind, I'm already thinking 2027 because I'm writing the Seasons and Stargates book. which goes into 2027. So my mind's always like, at this time of the year, it's always like kind of way ahead. But Moon Goddess Training is an amazing program, and everything that you're going to get to experience in our Akashic Healing Chamber is literally part of all the things that you learn and experience in the Moon Goddess Training. So we'll be also hosting some Q&A sessions about the Moon Goddess Training. And hopefully, I haven't decided yet, but hopefully I'll be inviting some of the current Moon Goddesses to go live with me on my Instagram and talk about their experience. So we'll see what happens. But either way, it is a very kind of exciting time. But as we're winding down the year, we did want to give you guys an opportunity to like heal, recharge, reset, and get ready for the new year. Hello, Anastasia. Welcome in. So now let us dive into what we are covering for this week, which is the astrology. And like I said, this week is crazy. And the reason it's crazy is because there's so much going on. Melissa, yes, she is in the training right now. She says the Moon Goddess Training has been amazing and sad that it's ending. I know. It's a whole year. We're together for a whole year. We create like such beautiful community and space, and that's my favorite part of the whole thing is like the friendships that we create together with all the goddesses. Okay. So here we go. Let's just dive into this astrology, and you can now see the chart on the screen. And this chart is literally the chart of right now. So of course, you know that we are in Scorpio season, and the moon, look at it, it's now in Scorpio. So we are very well into a balsamic phase of the moon this week. We start the week off with balsamic moon. The really beautiful thing that's happening today, and I want to also do a little shameless plug for our Starseed membership, because I share in the Starseed membership daily insights about all of these transits, even how to integrate the energy, little rituals, little affirmations that you can say to yourself as these powerful, moments are showing up in the astrology. But today, the main event is this really beautiful grand trine in water. And water is the element of the emotions, and it calls us into listening to our intuition, listening deeply. So it's a very kind of auspicious day. And the reason is because the sun, this grand trine includes the sun, Jupiter, and Saturn. So essentially today is like a sun-Jupiter day, and the sun trine Jupiter days are the most auspicious because of the aspect of a trine is the most harmonious of all of the aspects. So it's a sun trine Jupiter day, but it's also, they're both making trines to Saturn. So bringing in determination, devotion to like make things happen, move things through. If there's goals that you want to set, like this would be a great day to initiate something really important, to initiate an important project into your life. And the energy of this has been building up. It's the max today, but it'll continue to be here for the next couple of days. And it's a portal, right? That the energy is open, ready to be harnessed or used, however you want to describe it. But it's very auspicious. So that's beautiful. And it's enhancing our intuition and enhancing our abilities to see the unseen and hear the unheard. So we've got Sun trine Saturn, Sun trine Jupiter, Jupiter trine Saturn, and this beautiful grand trine. Also, we see today Mercury retrograde. Mercury is now retrograde, so that's important. That just happened, and we're fully engulfed in the energy of a retrograde Mercury, which is a time of reflection. So there's a lot of kind of inner reflection, inner pondering, inner contemplating in general in life. And it's about our belief systems because it's in Sagittarius. It's about our truth and our belief systems. But Mercury retrograde makes a sextile to Pluto today, and that's inviting us into deeper understanding. So I love that is how we start our week off. What happens tomorrow, which is significant, is that you will see that Mercury, well, the moon is very close to being a new moon in Scorpio, but what we see is Mercury retrograde goes back into Scorpio. So then the theme becomes we're revisiting everything that we experienced and was brought up to our attention during Mercury in Scorpio transit, which is again truth, but it's uncovering what's hidden. So we're doing a lot of uncovering hidden things this week. And at the same time, you can already see this like giant Scorpio stellium forming in the sky. So the Scorpio energy intensifies as we move towards Thursday, which is basically when the new moon actually happens. But Mercury retrograde re-enters into Scorpio, and that happens tomorrow. And then we get to Wednesday. So now basically the moon is basically there. The new moon is going to happen. We'll look at the exact point in a moment. But on the day of Wednesday, what's significant is that Venus at 15 degrees of Scorpio makes a trine to the North Node, highlighting the things that we want, our truest and deepest desires, and points us in the direction of destiny, future, and what's coming ahead. So North Node in Pisces is to trust that higher sense, to trust that divine connection is really the most important thing right now. I am a metal rat. Somebody just asked about my Chinese zodiac. Okay. Mercury retrograde on that day makes an opposition to Uranus, but that is actually an aspect that is also a part of the new moon in Scorpio that's going to be happening that I'm going to be talking about on Wednesday evening when I do the broadcast for the astrology of that new moon. So we'll dive deeper into that, but we see this beginning. And oppositions to Uranus can be very unpredictable, very uncomfortable. They bring sudden shifts, and it's going to be sudden shifts in the mind. And I think that because of the Mercury retrograde, we're going to be understanding, maybe getting epiphanies or realizations about what's the journey and what is it that we're learning during the retrograde. It'll open up our mind and it'll show us something significant along the path. That's what I'm tuning into, is this is going to bring. And at that same time, Mercury also makes a trine to Neptune, which it's all about enhancing imagination, intuition, dreams, all of that. So you can see that the aspect of intuition and highlighting that energy is very, very strong this week. Okay, we next move on to the 20th, which is the day where we actually see, I'm going to go back because I want to find the exact moment just to show you the chart of the new moon and how significant it is, which again, we're going to dive into specifically this chart, but we can do a little quick glance. All right, 28 degrees of Scorpio is where this new moon happens. And technically it's happening Wednesday night on the 19th. That would be Pacific time. And then it's technically happening on the 20th. So 19th and 20th is when that energy is going to be the most potent. But we're going to do our ceremony on the 20th when the energy of the moon has officially begun. Because I always am wary of doing the ceremony and the ritual of a new moon, the day before, because technically it's still a balsamic moon and that new frequency hasn't yet hit. So if you notice why I choose the dates specifically for that, it's like, okay, I want to be officially on the other side of that conjunction. So we're going to celebrate on the 20th in the evening at the same time that I always do all the broadcasts. So astrology on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we have the celebration. But look at this, 28, 28, 28. This is a moon that's happening exactly conjunct Mercury. This means this is the Kazemi. This is the point in the transition, the transit of Mercury, where mind and heart come together, soul, sun, and Mercury mind. And it's a merging of the mind and the heart. And the moon coming in right there is also really beautiful because it's also bringing in the alignment, the king and the queen of the zodiac coming together in this very strong energy of Scorpio. Like 28 degrees. So a lot of emotions because it's got that step 2 in it. And obviously, whenever there's a lunation, it's like emotions come up. And Scorpio is deep well of emotion. And this new moon is also making an opposition, pretty much almost exact, to Uranus. There's also a trine to Neptune. So a lot of the themes that we've been seeing continue this week. It's like they intensify towards the end of the week. And what happens basically when we go to the next day is that the sun makes the actual exact opposition to Uranus. And that means that and I talked about this in the membership, and this is why it's very important, why I always recommend being a part of the membership, because every month when the sun enters into a new sign, we dive into the astrology of the entire month, and we use my book, Seasons and Stargates, to tune into the energy, but we get to see the whole flow of the whole year. So we're going to be having a meeting this weekend, if you're in the membership, to talk about Sagittarius season, because this literally means that the sun is going to end Scorpio season with this intense opposition to Uranus exactly at 29 degrees, which is a critical number, and an exact also trine to Neptune at 29 degrees. But also this grand trine in water is activated as well. I mean, it's like, whoa, that's why I'm saying that this week, and it's a new moon. It's like this week, it's like, whoa, the climax of Scorpio season, like boom. And then we get to the 21st and it's like, okay, now we're in Sag, and sun enters 0 degrees of Sagittarius, and it's like the new journey begins. And that is what is the, really the most important. That's the flow of the events of this week. And then we finish off, once we are officially in Sagittarius season, that begins on the 21st. And of course, all the themes of Sagittarius are initiated. There's a new journey. Sagittarius is the point in the year where we get our wings and we fly. We become the phoenix. The scorpion has transmuted into the eagle, and the eagle has become the phoenix. And it's like we get our wings and we fly and we take off with new knowledge, with new information. And it's a time of like really going beyond your edge and expanding your mind, because you did the heavy work of Scorpio. So Scorpio is ending this week and Sagittarius is beginning. And on the 22nd, what we're going to see is Mercury make a trine to Saturn and Jupiter. And so that same grand trine in water gets highlighted again. So it's like here all week, and it's going to hold a foundational frequency. And then we end the week on Sunday, the 23rd, with the sun making a sextile to Pluto, inviting us into more depth, whether it's depth of understanding, whether it's like some aspects that lands more clearly for you, whether you understand, you gain some kind of insight or understanding about, what's been really happening for you, all of it now at this point, though, because it's in Sagittarius season, is growing now. The Sagittarius is about growth and expansion. So it's the season of growth and expansion, and ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is, with making those trines, and bringing in deep, deep, deep feelings and emotions. So I think overall, the week has huge potential to heighten our ability, like I said, to see the unseen and hear the unheard. And there is a big transition that's happening. There's a portal, there's an awakening. This is an awakener. I feel like this week is an awakener energy. And we are going to come across some really powerful realizations that might really surprise us, but at the same time be exactly what we needed to see, exactly what we needed to like understand. So you can see how freaking powerful the energy of this week is. So it's a transitional week. We are fully entering into the space of a new season, but also ending. There's an ending and a beginning. We're ending the season of Scorpio with a new moon. So, and then this like moment of like Uranus lightning striking, and then boom, we're off. The archer shoots his arrow and we're off. So I don't know how that's going to unfold for you personally, but just know that it's a big week. So we'll be on the lookout for all the things. Let me check the chat real quick. Again, thank you guys for being here. All right. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to channel a message now, an intuitive message from the Akashic Records. So as I tune into the Akashic Records and say the prayer to open up the sacred space, you can do the same by tuning into, your own frequency, by maybe taking a few deep breaths, maybe closing your eyes, going into like a meditative space. And I actually love to recommend to people that they pull cards for themselves. While I am pulling cards for everybody, you can pull cards for yourself with the same theme. So get out your card deck and let's go. I am getting a hit that I need to read the message of the gene key that we're going to be moving through this week. I know it's the 14th. I just want to double check that. So we're going from the 14th into, so we're transitioning on Thursday. I just need to verify. So 07 on Friday. So on Friday, so we're on the 14th gene key until Friday. Basically, the sun enters Sagittarius, and then the day after, when it's at very, very, very close to into Sagittarius, we transition to the 34th gene key. So I was just told, I guess by my guides, that I need to read to you about these gene keys. So, but I want to go into the Akashic Records first, and then we'll talk about the 14th gene key, the 34th gene key, and the 14th is where this new moon is going to be happening, and where all this crazy energy is going to be happening. So it's significant to understand the shadow, gift, and Siddhic frequency of those specific energies. All right. So while that's opening up, I am going to guide us into the records. So close your eyes. Yes, Salty Mama. I talked about it. We're going to be talking more about the Moon Goddess training. It is 100% happening in 2026. So stay tuned. Make sure you're on my email list so you get all the details, and make sure you join us in the free Akashic multiple day Akashic healing chamber that Ashley and I will be guiding starting December 8th for a whole week. We got a whole week of events, an Akashic healing chamber, and we'll be talking about the Moon Goddess training. So there are always opportunities at the end of the year to tune into what is the Moon Goddess training, what is it all about, and all that good stuff. Hey, Dawn, welcome in. So let's close our eyes and enter into sacred space. And as I open up the records, I want you to also tune into your own energy and open yourself up to receive a message. From the deep depths of the cosmic mind, I hear a whisper. This whisper calls us inwards towards our essence. A light begins to glimmer at the center of our heart. This is the light of unity, the all-knowing wisdom of the One. Through this door, we open the gates of the Akashic, the magical flower of life. We see our duality. We recognize our sacred trinity. We begin to witness infinite possibilities as we become the observer and the observed. A powerful and luminescent light engulfs our being, and we feel many dimensions all at once. We enter the Akashic records, protected and loved by all star beings that have accessed these portals before. The records are now open. May wisdom flow, may understanding descend, and may we be blessed with the light of love. All right, so as asked, we are going to begin by sharing a little information about the gene key lens of this, week. So here we go. I'm going to use the book because it's so interesting that the website, the Gene Keys website right now is not working, but we have the book. So this week, everything that I was talking about and everything that I was sharing about is contained. There's a container for it, and the container is the 14th gene key. And this 14th gene key goes from the shadow of compromise to the gift of competence to the city of bounteousness. And Richard Rudd literally calls it or describes it as radiating prosperity. Okay, that is actually really, really positive when you think about the connections to Jupiter that we're having right now with the Grand Trine in water that's being held as like this, like, I don't know why I just heard the word medallion. I don't know why I just heard this, like, it's like a stamp. I'm feeling like it's the energy is stamped in this powerful Jupiterian prosperity activation. And you know what? Something is really interesting is the fact that we were talking about this in the Moon Goddess training about the pearl sphere of the gene key. So in the Moon Goddess training, one of the things that we do is we go through the whole journey of the gene keys, activation sequence, Venus sequence, and then pearl sequence. And we end with the very last sphere. I mean, there's more spheres now because the star pearl came out this year, but we complete our journey with the sphere of pearl in the pearl sequence, and it's all about Jupiter. So I think it's so cool that this 14th gene key is about prosperity, that we are having the Sun trine Jupiter energy this week, and it's opening up, I feel, doors, opportunities to like step into something new that can bring prosperity in. So one of the things that you definitely want to kind of look out for this week is to not compromise yourself or your integrity for anything or anyone. That's the first thing. The next thing is the 34th gene key. And I'm also going to read you the message from the little oracle deck, the Gene Keys oracle deck. But we move to the 34th, which goes from the shadow of force to the gift of strength, and eventually to the city of majesty. So as we transition into Sagittarius season, we learn to start to like be more present, because this is one of the gates that connects to, I'm thinking like 3420 for some reason that's coming up for me. And there's a lot of power in this energy, but the true lesson is again to not try to force things to happen. So that's the lesson that we're moving into, because when you ease your need to just push through, what actually you gain is strength, and things begin to flow very very freely. And the 34th Jinki is described as the beauty of the beast, which you can see what, I love the play of words that Richard Rudd has, that he brings into this magic. So here we go. Radiating prosperity, shadow of compromise, and working to transmute that this week, and then moving into the beauty of the beast and learning how to not force anything in our lives. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to read from this book, which is, it's the Gene Keys Oracle deck that is actually really, really profound to me. Anything about studying the Gene Keys is like just magical and magnificent, and really turns on this like insightful aspect of us. And I think it inspires us to become better people. So I highly recommend you study your Gene Keys. Okay, here's our first message. I am here to remind you of your dreams and to encourage you to take an honest look at your life. It is time to put the fire back into your belly and to stop making compromises. The more you compromise, the more trapped you will become in a life that isn't even yours. You were born to inherit a rich, fulfilling, and harmonious life, and to experience competence. I see you cutting through obstacles, loving what you do, becoming a magnetic original, and adapting creatively to each new synchronistic opportunity that comes your way, open to the bounteousness that awaits. And then the 34. I come to acknowledge your strength and to ask you to purify your heart by liberating yourself from the war in your mind. Be careful not to mistake the people around you for your enemies. Ooh. Your true enemies are your own misguided thoughts. Your reactive emotions and everything in you that wrestles you away from the present moment. It's time to stop trying to force things to go a certain way just because your mind tells you so. Stay open to outside influence. Keep tuning into the natural world around you. Listen for the flow of life, and you shall tap into it. There is an inexhaustible reserve of inner strength deep in your belly. It is greater than you can possibly imagine. All right. So here is our moment to call in our spirit guides, angels, and teachers. And I will be pulling some cards to receive an intuitive message. Also, this is when you can pull cards for yourself too. So the first card that we're going to pull is kind of like our jumping off point. It's the current energy. It's our intuition card. It helps us just to tune into what do we need to know, like right now at this moment, what is like the most important theme or message. So let's see. Okay, this card came out pretty quickly. So we get the 4 of Pentacles. And this card actually came up this weekend in a reading that we were doing. And it's all about, it represents greed, essentially. In this image, this guy is like holding on to the pentacles, but because he's holding on too tight, essentially that holding on too tight is preventing more abundance to come, from coming. So that's the first lesson, is that at this point we need to be really careful about like how strong we are holding on to certain things, because it is that inability to like relax and loosen the grip that could be getting in the way of any abundance coming into your life. Okay, the next card represents the challenge for us this week. So what is the challenge? So the first message is be careful not to hold on, like don't hold on too tight. Let the energy flow. Our challenge for the week is let's see what we get. Oh, I feel it right there. Oh, okay. So we did get the 10 of Wands reverse. So the challenge is to unburden ourselves. The challenge is to not take too much on. Maybe like because there's so much going on, if you take on too many things, you won't succeed because you'll kind of be setting yourself up for failure instead of setting yourself up for success. So don't hold on too tight and make sure that you're not overburdening yourself this week. Don't put too much weight on your shoulders. Next card is our overall theme. And the card that we got, there's two cards actually. One of them is cups and one of them is swords. It is the 7 of cups and the 6 of swords. And the interesting thing about both of these cards, so the cup cards in the tarot represent the element of water. So we know that there's a lot of water going on this week. We're in Scorpio season. There's a grand trine in water. It's actually auspicious, but there's a lot of emotions going on. So it can feel very Neptunian, very confusing. Like I'm not clear and I don't know exactly what to choose. I don't know exactly which direction to go. But then you have these 6 of swords, which is all about walking away from what no longer serves you. Like it's the moment when you make the choice to just freaking go and to let go. And it's funny because they're swords, but they're on a boat and they're in a looks like lake, and they're moving from the choppy waters to the calm waters. So in order to calm the waters, you need to let go of the things in the mental plane that are confusing you. This is the whole message. It's like if there's too much going on, you need to find the clarity, and the clarity is not going to be found in the mind. The clarity is going to be found when you enter that space of neutrality. I'm thinking about an undefined solar plexus here that has the capacity or the capability to be neutrally emotional, which is calm, a calm state. You need to go into a calm state before you'll find the clarity of mind. Wow. This also brings up the new moon energy and like Mercury, the Kazemi, Mercury, moon, and the sun all coming together in Scorpio. So we're working in the realm of water, but we're looking to find that calmness of heart in order to clear the confusion. Wow. I know, it's amazing, right? Okay. Oh, okay. So we've got 6 of swords for me is always finding helpers along the way. I love that. That's also really sweet. It's like, yeah, there's the guy that's like, pushing the boat along. You're not, yeah, it is. There's part of it that's like not about being alone, knowing that you're not alone also. Okay. So the next card is wisdom from the ancestors. So what do our ancestors, spirit guide, angels, teachers, ancestors want us to know this week? What is the message directly from them to us? All right, 9 of Wands. They know, they're acknowledging that has not been easy. Oh, wow, look, the High Priestess on the other side. They're acknowledging that it's not been easy. But they're telling us we know exactly what to do. Like we have all the wisdom inside of us that we need to guide us forward. We just need to find like the passion again. I think we're being reminded that like we're fully prepared for anything that comes our way because we've been through a lot. So it's like the experience has created wisdom. But we can get wary of continuing moving forward. And they're saying, don't get wary. Trust that the wisdom that you need will show up as you continue on your path forward. So it's like an acknowledgement, like we get it. It has not been easy, but you have to trust the wisdom that you've gained through all of your experiences, because that's literally what's going to guide you forward. And you're so much more prepared than other people who have not even stepped into the path of awareness in their personal lives. We have awareness, and that's what they're telling us. Melissa says this reading resonates so much. I know it resonates with me too. Okay, what am I looking for? Animal spirit cards, because the next card is which animal spirit wants to help guide us this week? Okay, here we go. And I have to shuffle these. Also, I'm coming back to my the wild unknown animal spirit card that I haven't used in a while, but I love these. And I really have always resonated so much with the messages in these cards and familiar with them in a way that I love it. So let's see. What animal is guiding us this week? Okay, the cobra. So there's an aspect of this card that's very much about an awakening. Anytime you get obviously the energy of snake energy, it's always about awakening. It's always about tuning into changing, shifting, transforming, transmuting, right? Like there's Kundalini energy is related to snake. This is, I believe, a fire element in this deck, which means that it's very activating. The fire animals bring in passion as well. So this, I mean, the fire animals in this deck are all like, whoa, no joke. So here we go. This is the message of the cobra. It's about pausing, waiting, and listening to the inner teacher. The cobra represents a teacher or a spiritual guardian. The cobra hovers and watches, ever present, ever protecting, ever loving. The essence of the cobra is found deep within us in the form of the inner teacher, and manifests externally in those special guides who've led us along our path. What would it feel like to be a student again? What are you ready to learn? Remember the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. This is actually really cool. Yeah, the cobra knows when to strike. Yeah, it's the inner teacher. So I'm seeing this Nine of Wands and Cobra come together to complete the message in a really beautiful way. The fact that our inner guide knows exactly what to do because of how far we've come, because of all the work we've done. That little inner guidance system is turned on in us. And that's what our spirit guides are trying to tell us. And that's what the cobra is trying to tell us. So we need to trust that will guide us exactly to the right place and the right time and the clarity that we're looking for. So our job this week is to not hold on too tight, but stay soft and like open and like as clear as you can, and flow through the energy of the week. Don't put too many things on your shoulders. Don't overtask yourself, overburden yourself. And the key or the goal is to make it through the confusion. If you feel confusion, to make it through any confusion by calming your heart, by calming the emotions and calming the mind. So there's going to be a sun, moon, Mercury conjunction, a new moon, exactly, with all those together. The merging of mind and heart, but the finding clarity by stepping into neutrality and not getting swept away in this direction or that direction. So really powerful. Yeah. all of this realization and awareness comes, like Dawn is saying in the chat, from wisdom. With experience comes wisdom. So yeah, this is a powerful week. It feels very potent. It feels like what I'm trying to say is, like, it feels like they're watching, like everyone's like looking and seeing, like, what's going to happen, how are we going to act, what are we going to do. I think the ones that are watching feels like our spirit guides, our angels, like they're like, ooh, very curious, because I think we're moving more and more in life in general into places where we really got to use those skills, that wisdom that we've acquired along the way. We really have to use it now. You can't go back, you can't ever go back to not knowing. Once you know, you know. We don't know, but we know. Just kidding. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Let me close the records before I forget. From the deepest depths of our soul, we give gratitude and love, for we understand we are a fractal of that cosmic whole. As we give, so we get, open to all possibilities through all time and space. We walk through the Akashic portal back to our inner space, remembering that this wisdom lives within every cell of our being. Thank you, star beings, for holding this sacred space and for protecting us during this journey through time and space. The records are now closed. Satnam, everyone. Have an amazing week. I will see you on Wednesday for our new moon, Scorpio new moon astrology reading here on the channel, and we'll see how it all unfolds. Satnam, and see you in a few days.